Hi, I want to share with you the new digital haunted house for sale writing digitally with Google Slides. This is how it works. First of all, the students would go through and they would have to choose one of the backgrounds. As you can see, there's a few different backgrounds that they can choose from, and they pick the one that they want, and I picked this one as the example. And once you pick it, you go through and you'll see these slides that have different shapes, and you're going to pick the shapes that you want to bring onto your background. And you can also add trees. You can add all of these little haunted pieces. Now, if you're a teacher and say, for example, you don't want to have a ghost for some reason, then you can just delete that before you send it out and they won't have that option. And if there's something that you want to add, you could go certainly and add something to it. Then you're going to pick a for sale sign to put on the haunted house, because this is going to be a writing assignment. And if you look down here, the students will have to brainstorm different ways to write about why they are selling the haunted house or why someone else is selling the haunted house. There's organizational tools here for them to organize their thoughts, a storyboard for them to also organize their thoughts and put the story in a sequence, and then the writing pages. So let me show you what I did and show you a couple easy ways. Let's say, for example, you want this piece. You click on it, right click on it, hit copy, and you're going to go to whatever board you want and you paste it in there. When it's here, you can resize it however you want. You can also change the color if you want to. You can have a border. Right now I have a white border on all these. You'll see in a second, I'll show you, and if you take the border off, sometimes it looks better. Students need to know that when you want to move an object, you click on it and drag it, then let go. If you accidentally change the size of an object, for example, if you didn't want it that big, or you erased it by accident, then you always remember this is what I call the magic wand. It is where you can undo whatever you did, okay? So let me share with you an example of what I did. If you look, remember I told you that I have an outline on all the pieces. This is so you can see where your pieces are, and you can build each one. You can make this a different size if you want to. Same here. And if, say for example, I want this window to go in front of this tree, so I have a tree here, and say I want this window to go in front of it, you would right click on it and you are going to change the order like this, and we're going to bring it forward. So now you'll see the trees behind it. And if you didn't like that, of course, go use your magic wand and undo that. Make sure once you put all of your pieces together, let me show you this one, this window here. All right, so this window had a border around it. All you have to do is change this to black and that border magically disappears. Then click this back if you wanted to keep that border on there. Next, you will go and you will grab all the different pieces you want. Say you want an owl in here, you right click, copy, go back to your background page and click it in there, and you can resize it and put it however you want. Say I want it up there, maybe I want it inside with the yellow back there. This is cool. You can grab a pumpkin or a ghost. You can grab your for sale sign at the end. It's the last thing that you're going to do. And here, this is your tombstone. Now the tombstones come with RIP or they're blank, and you can add text. Simply go to your text box and click and start typing in it. So you can add the text that you want. Let me get rid of that. You can see that I've already added text. Mine says, "Here lies Fred, a rock fell on his head, 1943. Now teachers, if you don't want to have the tombstones, you don't need to have them. You can erase them, delete them, and then they don't need to get sent out. You have the eyeballs that you can put anywhere, the different windows. Let me go see what else we've got. All right, so here's your pieces. Of course, you can always add more if you would like to add different shapes. Your shape button is up here. You could add any shape that you want, and you can change the colors simply by clicking. So if you wanted to change all these different pieces to different colors, you could do that. Next, you pick a tree and you can click it, the one that you want, copy it, paste it onto your background. So I'll do one more for you here. This is daylight during, if you want to do a haunted house during the day and have your setting during the day instead of at night. So here's the tree, and you can move it around however you want. You can make it skinny, you can make it super tall, you can make it take up the whole page, whatever. And if you didn't like it, you can just do all of your undo buttons to get rid of it. Now down here, this is where it gets fun. You have a lot of different Halloween pieces that you can add. Let's say, for example, in your story, you are going to want to have green slime coming out of your haunted mansion. So copy this green slime, copy that, go up to the house that you built, and if the problem is going to be the reason why you're selling the house is because there's green slime, here you go. You got some green slime that you can add to your house, or you can make it super long. It's like a cloud right here, and you can have it coming out of the house like that. Or you can even have these as clouds if you wanted to. You could be creative, do whatever you like. This is a creative story that you're going to be writing, a narrative story. Let's say we didn't like the green slime. Undo, undo, undo. And we're going to scroll back down. I'm going to show you after you grab whatever you want from all of these places. The last thing you're going to do is make sure you pick a piece for your for sale sign. These are ones that don't have any writing on them, and you can copy it and paste it in. And let's just say if you've got to write it on there, so we're going to hit the box for texting and then text for sale. And you can change your font, you can change the color. So up here is your font. You can change the color of your font over here, and you can also change and have a different font to use there. Okay, so there you go. Now let's say that you're all done. You've already decorated your haunted house. You've got it the way that you want it, and you like it. Then it's time for you to do writing. So you come here first, brainstorming. Write some ideas about why the house is for sale. Who lives there? Where is it located? When is the story taking place? What happens after the house is for sale? And all you do is click on the edit buttons and you can answer each question. This one says there's ghosts in the house. Mr. T lives in the big house. You can edit each one of these. There's 5 different areas, so you can answer all of those W questions. Why, who, where, when, what. Right? And then you can go down here, pick the way that you want to organize it. This one says, what is the title? Haunted Mansion for Sale. Who are the characters? Eddie, Sam, Kimberly, and Mr. T. What's the setting? It's nighttime, it's at a spooky house. And then down here you can put the beginning. What happens at the beginning of your story? Maybe the kids are playing in the front yard and maybe a pumpkin starts talking to them. Or maybe you got to come up with a reason why Mr. T is going to sell, or whoever you are owning the house. He's going to sell the house maybe because the walls move or the books move or something like that. So come up with your story, your beginning, your middle, your end. What great ending are you going to do? So remember, a good ending, I think, is something that has feelings. So I like to always end my stories with a feeling word or something like it. I always smile when I think of that day, or I'm still scared when I walk past that house. Something with feeling. So come up with a good ending. Make sure you have some kind of problem in the story, which is going to be why you're selling the house or why the person's selling the house. Maybe you own the house and there's a reason you want to sell it. Maybe there's not even a scary reason you want to sell it. Maybe it's just because you don't like the neighbors. It could be anything. And then whatever you come up with is going to be your favorite part. You can type about it there. And this one is called a storyboard. Same thing, edit your title, your characters, your setting, and then go in and where it says edit, like this one, where it says edit, you're gonna type your story, what you think that you're going to. It's like brainstorm. This isn't the exact story you're gonna turn into the teacher yet, but one dark and stormy night, a boy and two friends went for a walk in the woods. They found a large house. It looked fun. They went inside. A loud noise startled them. I spelled that wrong, so of course this is great for you to make mistakes and you can go back and fix them. Next, it was Mr. T, the owner. He dropped a vase. He asked us why we entered his house. We told him we heard it was haunted. He has to put it on sale because he can't afford the upkeep on it because it's so too big for him to take care of alone. All of a sudden the ghost jumped out. Okay, so there's a problem. Write about what happens next and then have an ending about how you feel about that ending, how the person feels, whoever's telling the story feels about the ending. And then after you get all of that done, this is going to be your main paper. Put your name in your edit box. Give your story a title. You can change the title if you weren't happy with the one that you put on your rough drafts. You can change it and update it. And then start writing about, have your opening, the beginning of what happens in your story. What happens first, next, then, last. Use transition words. And then finally have your ending with your feeling. You can, if you like to type a lot or write a lot, you can go here and you can write as much as you want. Now, if you're a teacher and you are wanting to use this both for virtual learning and in person, all you have to do is erase all the text boxes by highlighting them all. Erase them, and then you can print these out. And that's why I made them paper size, okay? And then you can print them out and give them to the kids that are inside so they can do the handwriting. All right, I can't wait to hear about all of your fantastic stories about your haunted house and why it's for sale.